so excited. Today is such a special day. Firstly, we all got very ready for a wonderful, wonderful holiday. What holiday is coming up? What Chag? That's right, Sukkot. Yes, I hope you have Sukkot. And did you guys make decorations for your sukkah?
Yeah.
And did you make a toy lulav and etrog?
Yeah.
And for Simchat Torah, what did everybody make? What did we make?
Oh, we did.
Right?
We're
So
giving
all the classes made different things. It's okay. We're so excited. Well, today I chose to tell a story actually about a very big tzaddik. His name was the Rebbe Maharash. His name was Rebbe Shmuel, the Rebbe Maharash. Because today is the day that his neshama went up to Shamayim to be very close to Hashem. It's called his Yom Hilulah. It's the day his neshama went up to Shamayim. And I'm going to tell a story about him. He was the son, we don't have a picture of him, but we have a picture of his daddy. He was the son of the Tzemach Tzedek. And the story I'm going to tell you is about the Rebbe Maharash from Shmuel when he was just a little boy, when he was only 7 years old. Everybody say hello to the Maharash. Right? He's only 7 in my story. The story begins with a very nice Jewish man. His name was Reb Zalman. Hi, Yaladim, my name is Reb Zalman. And my job is to make things out of metal. People give me metal and I make all kinds of things. I sometimes make cans out of metals. Sometimes I make special sponges out of metals. One day, the general of the army in Russia came to Reb Zalman. Said, Reb Zalman, I heard you make nice things out of metals. You have a big company and a big factory that makes metal things. Yes, I make all kinds of things, General. I need lots and lots of pots for my soldiers so they can each one of them carry a pot with them and have food to eat and we can cook them yummy food. Do you think you can make pots? Oh, sure, General. But for that, I'll need lots and lots of metal because you have so many soldiers. No problem. I'll bring you metal. Lots and lots of metal. And he brought a whole pile full of metals for Zalman's company, for his factory and his factory workers. Because it wasn't Zalman himself. Zalman had many workers working for him to help make different things out of the metals. And sometimes then they'd finish making the pots and the pans and stuff and they would paint them and make them nice. Children, there was another man who also had a metal factory. His name was Ivan. And Ivan looked and he got so angry. And he said, whoa, why did the Russian government give Zalman the Jew the job of making metal pots? I wanted to be the one. And the other people working with him, who were also very rich and powerful, came and said, you know, Ivan, you're right. We should have been the ones to make the metal pots for the Russian government, not Zalman. I know. I was the one who wanted it. And they were very angry and they weren't happy. They kept looking to see. Now, children, Zalman had many workers and they made lots and lots of pots out of the metal. Now, children, you can make nice thick pots and you can make skinny pots, which are not so strong. See the difference in my pots? I'm going to hold them up. See, some are nice and thick. I know I used Play-Doh to show it. You're right. Some of them are nice and thick and strong, and some of them are a little bit more flimsy and thin. They're not so strong. And Zalman, he wasn't sure what his workers did. If they made nice thick pots, or they made skinny pots. And some of his workers, well, children, the workers weren't very nice people. And sometimes the workers, maybe, I forgot to bring the workers, would steal some of the money and would steal some of the metal for themselves. They'd say, oh, I'll take some metal home and I'll hide it in my pocket and I'll make my own pots for my family. So instead of making nice thick pots, they would make skinny pots and the extra metal they would take home with them. and make pots for their own family. And Zalman it was a huge factory. So he couldn't see what they were doing. But still it was Zalman's responsibility. It was his job to make sure that they made nice, thick, strong pots and that they used all the metal that the Russian government gave them to make the pots. But what really happened, because his workers were stealing, not all the metal was used to make pots for the Russian army. A lot of the metal got stolen by the workers. Well, you know who knew this? Ivan and all his businessmen and all his partners said, "Ha! Let's go run and get Zalman into trouble. Yeah, he made skinny pots and he stole all the money for himself. The extra metal he stole for himself. Ha! Yeah, we're going to go get him into trouble." Now, really, Zalman didn't steal anything for himself, but his workers took it. But they were going to get Zalman into trouble. And they came to the judge. And he was a very angry judge. He always made angry faces. And they came to the judge. Mora has a judge puppet. And they said, Mr. Judge, Zalman stole a lot of the metal for himself. He didn't use it all to make nice thick pots for the government, for the Russian army. And the judge got very angry. Oh, call Zalman. We're going to make a big court case. Called poor Zalman in. And Zalman sat and he was so worried. He said, did you use all the metal that the government gave you to make it for pots and pans, for the army, for the soldiers? And Zalman said, I gave it all to my workers. Yes, I did. But then the witnesses came and said, no, he didn't. We saw they were skinny pots. We saw. And poor Zalman didn't know what to do. He was scared he's going to get into trouble. So the judge said, we're going to make a big court case. And we're going to come and see what happened. Meanwhile, Zalman realized that if he's in trouble, what he really needs is for who to help him. Who can always help us? Right? Who? Tell me again. Hashem. Hashem always loves us. And children also, Hashem is very close to big tzaddikim. Sometimes we can go to a big tzaddik, either to the tzaddik himself or to the place where the tzaddik is buried, and go and talk to the tzaddik and say, please daven to Hashem to save me, because tzaddikim are very close to Hashem. So Zalman wanted to talk to the Tzemach Tzedek, his Rebbe. But when he came to talk to the Tzemach Tzedek, there was a long line. Lots of Jewish people were waiting to talk to the Tzemach Tzedek. Lots and lots of people. And Zalman had to wait. And he said, oh, when can I see the Tzemach Tzedek? It's an emergency. I'm going to get into big trouble. And the Tzemach Tzedek, the Shamash, is the man who would decide who could go in. I don't know when. The Tzemach Tzedek is in his room. Could be you could see him in 10 minutes, or maybe in 2 weeks. We don't know when the Tzemach Tzedek will be ready to see people. And Zalman didn't know what to do. And he sat down and he started to say Tehillim. And he prayed to Hashem and he said, please Hashem, save me. Please Hashem, help me. Please don't let me get into trouble. They're going to put me in the jail. Well, you know who came into the room just then? Was that little Maharash. Remember I told you today is the Maharash's Yom Hilulah, his Yortzeit, the day his Neshama went up to Shamayim. So Mora has a little boy puppet. Because when this story happened, the Maharash, Reb Shmuel, was only 7 years old. The Maharash came in and he sees Zalman saying Tehillim. And he came and he said, Reb Zalman, you're saying so much Tehillim. What's the matter? Why are you so sad? And Reb Zalman said, because I'm scared I'll get into trouble from the Russian government. They think I stole some of the metal for myself. Please, can you help me? Can you go to your daddy? And little Reb Shmuel said, okay, I'm allowed to go into my daddy's room, the Tzemach Tzedek, whenever I want. So he went in the room. Right. He looked and said, it's me, Reb Shmuel, the little Maharash. And he went into the Tzemach Tzedek's room. And he came out a few minutes later. And he came to Reb Zalman. And he says, Reb Zalman, you mustn't worry. Everything is going to be okay. But you need to do something. What do I need to do? What should I do? What should I do? And the Maharash said, you see over there, Yankel. There's Yankel. Yankel is also saying Tehillim. He has a daughter. And it's time to make her wedding. And he wants to buy her nice jewelry and things for her wedding. But he doesn't have any money to make her wedding. If you give 1,000 rubles to Yankel to make his daughter's wedding, everything is going to be okay and you don't have to worry about it. Hashem will take care of you. And Reb Shmuel said, of course, I'll do that, no problem. And I started Reb Shmuel, I'm calling Reb Shmuel, Reb Zalman. Shmuel was the little boy, thank you for correcting me. And Zalman counted from his pocket 1,000 rubles and he came to Yankel and he said, here, Yankel, I see you're very poor. See, Yankel's very poor. He said, here, you can have 1,000 rubles to make your daughter's wedding. And his daughter was so happy and Yankel was so happy. And he said, oh, wow, now we can make the wedding. He did the very, very big mitzvah of Achnasat Kala. Achnasat Kala means that we give money to help a poor bride get married. And Reb Zalman went back to the courts. And the judge looked even angrier now. And he said, but Reb Zalman wasn't worried because he said that Tzemach Tzedek gave me a bracha, right? The little Reb Shmuel went in to get a bracha from the Tzemach Tzedek for him. And he gave the tzedakah, so it's going to be okay. And the judge pointed and he got very angry and he says, you have to collect all the pots to weigh the pots, to see if they used all the metal to make the pots. Did they make skinny pots? Or did they make nice heavy pots and used all the metal they were giving? And it was a big job, children. They had to go with wagons all over to the Russian army bases. And they collected all the pots and they weighed them. And poor Zalman was worried. He said, please Hashem, help me. I'm worried that the pots won't weigh as much as the metal because maybe some of my workers stole some of it. And he was so worried. And the judge looked and he got very angry. And he banged on his desk, on his big table. And he banged and he said, everybody quiet. We weighed all the pots to see if it weighed as much as the metal we gave Reb Zalman. And it seemed Reb Zalman lied. And Reb Zalman said, oh no, Hashem, I'm getting into trouble. And the judge said, he looked like he was angry, but you know what? He wasn't really angry. He said, you know what? Here, we'll use my judge over here. He said, Reb Zalman said he used all the metal. But you know what? We found out that the pots weighed even more than the metal. It's like he added even more. And the pots became even heavier than the metal we gave him. Which means he didn't make skinny pots. He made very, very thick pots. And he used all the metal plus more metal than we gave him. Not only did he not steal anything, he even used from his own metal to make the pots and pans for the Russian army. Very, very strong, good pots. And the judge said, you're so good, Reb Zalman. We're going to give you a medal. You're the best. You're such a patriot. To be a patriot means to like your country you live in and to be good to the country and make good things. You're the best. Mwah! We love you, Reb Zalman. And Reb Zalman not only didn't get into trouble, but they gave him a big medal. And the judge got very angry at Ivan and at all his workers and his partners and said, you go away. Don't you ever dare say bad things about Reb Zalman. And Reb Zalman was so happy. He ran back to the Tzemach Tzedek to come and tell him, Tzemach Tzedek, thank you for your wonderful bracha. I was saved. I didn't really use extra metal to make the pots. It was a big nest, a big miracle. I don't know how it happened. And the Tzemach Tzedek said, I did give you a bracha. And the Reb Zalman said, yes, you did. Your little son, the Maharash, Reb Shmuel, he told me that if I give 1,000 rubles to Yankel to make his daughter's wedding, I'll be saved. He told me that's the bracha you said to do. And the Tzemach Tzedek said, that wasn't me. I didn't say it. It was the little boy, the Maharash, Reb Shmuel himself. And they called the Maharash Reb Shmuel. And they said, Reb Shmuel, you're only a little boy. You're not a big Rebbe. How did you know? And the Maharash said, I knew. I knew that when you give tzedakah, all that tzedakah turns into malachim, into angels that protect us. He said, I knew that all that tzedakah that Zalman gave Yankel, all the malachim made from the tzedakah that he gave, all the angels that were created from the mitzvah of tzedakah, they're all going to jump inside the pots, and they're going to make the pots very, very heavy. And because when we give tzedakah, we make big malachim, and it always protects us and saves us. And everybody said, little Reb Shmuel the Maharash, you're right, even though you're only 7 years old, you knew, and you saved Reb Zalman. And the Maharash grew up to be, the little Reb Shmuel grew up to be the Maharash, a big Rebbe. And children, he was always very, very careful to do the mitzvah of giving tzedakah. And you all listen so nicely. Thank you, Yalla.